Today, I'm going to walk you through how to spot the main idea in LSAT reading comp. Because if you don't get the main idea, you're missing the big picture. It's going to have a huge impact on your overall score in this section. Now, LSAT reading comp isn't about the details. It's about recognizing what the test makers think is important, and that's why so many of the questions are global in nature, focusing on the main idea, the primary purpose, and how the passage is organized. So today, I'm going to focus on how to spot the main idea of the passage. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, chunking is a really powerful technique to help you focus on the big picture in LSAT reading comp. If you can chunk, that means you can condense the text into distinct, manageable pieces. For example, let's say that you were reading a passage on legal history. The first paragraph might describe the evolution of a legal principle, the second might introduce a landmark case, and the third explains the implications of that case. By chunking the information, you reduce the passage into three key ideas. First, the evolution of the legal principle, second, the landmark case, and third, the implications of the case. Once you summarize the passage in this way, it's a whole lot easier to handle and solve those main idea, big picture questions. And also, it makes it easier for you to go back to the passage to find specific details when you need to. Another big way to simplify LSAT reading comp is to recognize common passage patterns. Think about it like you're watching a new movie. Even if you don't know all the details, if you could tell what genre it is, whether it's a comedy, a thriller, or a drama, you're going to have a general sense of how it's going to go. You're going to know the pattern of the movie. Same thing on the LSAT. LSAT reading comp passages have a pattern to them also, and most follow one of just a few predictable patterns. Once you recognize the structure, you can predict what the questions will focus on. Here are some common patterns for you. First, old versus new. LSAC loves this one. In this case, the passage is contrasting a traditional view with a newer, updated perspective. You might have a problem and solution passage where the author spots or articulates an issue and then proposes a way to solve it. You might have a passage featuring a debate where they showcase two different sides of an argument. Maybe the author takes a side, maybe they don't. Or maybe you have a passage featuring a chronological development or a timeline where the passage is tracing an idea or event over a period of time. If you can spot the patterns, you'll know how the passage is organized and what kind of information the questions are going to ask you about. Another key aspect of solving reading comp on the LSAT is spotting the author's perspective. Every passage has an author, and that author will have some kind of opinion, even if it's subtle. You want to look for keywords like but, yet, however, and although. These keywords often signal a shift in tone or focus, and they can lead you straight to the author's main point. So for example, in a passage about environmental policy, the author might describe a traditional approach as effective, but then pivot by saying, however, recent data suggests significant limitations. That word, however, would be your cue to pay attention because it reveals the author's perspective. LSAT questions often focus on this. You'll see phrases like the author's attitude, the main purpose of the passage, or the role of a specific paragraph. If you can find the author's opinion early, it's going to make solving these questions a whole lot easier. Now, if you're struggling with LSAT reading comp, if you'd like my support, my team and I would be glad to help you out. At LSAT Unplugged, we offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below to find out more and book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, once you've read the passage and you understand the pattern of the passage, you want to take a moment to pause. Predict what the questions might ask you about. What is the author's opinion, if any? What are the central main ideas of the passage? Were there any disagreements or competing viewpoints? And did the author highlight specific examples or evidence? For example, if a passage discusses how legal scholars disagree over a precedent, you might predict a question asking about the basis of the disagreement or how the author evaluates the precedent. The more you practice predicting questions, the better you'll get at spotting what's important and ignoring all the fluff and the filler. Another big challenge on the LSAT, of course, is balancing speed with accuracy. You have just 35 minutes to answer roughly 27 questions across 4 different passages, so you can't linger too long on any one section. The key here is to adapt the speed of your reading. You want to speed up when you're reading background information, lists, or examples, and then slow down when you're hitting the main idea, the author's opinion, or those keywords indicating a shift in perspective. And so, for example, if a passage lists 5 different ways that a new technology is used in agriculture, you don't need to memorize all of them. However, if the author concludes this innovation represents a significant shift in farming practices, that's where you want to slow down and take note. Now, here's why the skill of mastering the main idea is so important. On the LSAT, you're just not going to have time to analyze every single detail. But if you focus on the core central ideas, you'll save time, increase your accuracy, and feel more confident tackling even the toughest questions. Now, let's recap what we talked about today. We talked about chunking details into manageable categories to simplify the passage. We talked about recognizing the common patterns in LSAT reading comp passages like old versus new, problem and solution, or debate between 2 different sides. We talked about finding the author's opinion and keywords to help you uncover what is the main idea and the author's attitude. And we talked about adapting the speed of your reading based on what's important. Now, if you'd like my help on LSAT reading comp or anything else on the LSAT, my team and I would be glad to support you on your journey to scoring a 170 or above. You can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.